Hello, everybody. We've got some live breaking news. If you missed the huge announcement yesterday, I'm going to talk about that and a whole lot more. We have actual evidence, actual proof. It's not like we needed it, really. I mean, we all kind of knew it, correct? Let me know in the comments. We all knew he was mentally out of it. We all knew he was unfit for office. We all knew he was in cognitive decline. We all knew he had advanced stages of dementia. The big book came out by Fake Tapper. It was, again, and the audio tapes released. Robert Herr. Again, another conclusive finding and evidentiary backing that this guy was a complete vegetable. And I don't really blame him. This guy's been in office for over 50 years, right? I mean, the retention of power, the unwillingness to let go is big, especially in men and men with egos. I know that firsthand. I know you find that hard to believe. But yeah, I have an ego. All men have egos. Everybody have egos. It's the family. This family is absolutely ruthless. Dr. Jilskis, aka Dr. Evil. Holy macadamian. Now, we got so much to share with you. I can't wait to share this all with you. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, your favorite snack. Your boy Nez is going to take care of everything. I want to give a big shout out. We are live right now. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a capital TR for Team Replay. It's great to see you. We're going to get right into this. Thank you for we have the greatest mods of all time. Robbie Reeder. Yeah, by the way, Robbie, you already beat me to it. R squared, it's great to see you. Let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing from you guys. MG Mountain Goddess in the house. Jim Barron and Laura Tilford, the greatest mods of all time. They are the OGs. We've got some incredible people here. Come on in. Come on in. I also have some live breaking news. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start with this right here. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not. I mean, the man never sleeps. Trump just completed a call with President Putin of Russia, and he just posted this. Remember, this was a big deal trying to get the Ukrainian debacle and fiasco that we invested over $300 billion of our hard-earned tax dollars. Let me know how you feel about that one way or the other. I would love to hear from you. But Trump just posted this on Truth Social. Trump says, just completed my 2-hour call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. I believe it went very well. He also says Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations toward a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war. The conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties, as it can only be, because they know details of a negotiation that nobody else would be aware of. The tone, it's really interesting to me because it is abundantly clear how much Zelensky and Putin, there's some bad blood there that I don't know can ever be fixed. And also, I want to hear from you guys. This is how I feel about this. I truly feel in the marrow of my bone that Zelensky has extended this war far beyond what was necessary, that Zelensky has sabotaged peace talks time and time again. We saw a perfect example of that in his ludicrous, petulant display in the Oval Office when he attacked J.D. Vance, attacked President Trump, showed zero gratitude for how much money we have given him. There's footage all over the internet. I've even shared some footage of this before that he has literally, I'm not even kidding you. You can look this up for yourself. I always advocate to my audience, just like I did in my classroom when I was teaching at the university, do your own research, verify everything that I'm saying in the real world. Your number one sovereignty is critical thinking, critical discernment. And you can check for yourself. But Zelensky and his henchmen were kidnapping unwilling males in the middle of the streets. I mean, it's something out of a barbaric past. Kidnapping young military-aged and able-bodied men against their will to join the fight. This is a man who's fighting for peace. I seriously doubt it. Okay, Trump continues. The tone and spirit of the conversation were excellent. If it wasn't, I would say so now rather than later. Russia wants to do large-scale trade with the United States when this catastrophic bloodbath is over, and I agree. I mean, the man has already secured trillions and trillions with a T, with a capital T. The man hasn't slept. Meanwhile, the radical left is attacking ICE law enforcement, fighting for illegal criminal aliens at every single turn, spreading vitriol, hate, anti-American sentiment. That ridiculous, despicable disgrace, Bruce Springsteen, going in foreign countries, using his despicable platform as a megaphone to spread slander against the country that gave him everything. Let me know what you think of Bruce Springsteen in the comments down below. Here's what I want to say. In a world full of Bruce Springsteens, be Kid Rock. Trump continues. There is a tremendous opportunity for Russia to create massive amounts of job and wealth. Its potential is unlimited. Likewise, Ukraine can be a great beneficiary on trade in the process of rebuilding its country. Negotiations between Russia and Ukraine will begin immediately. I have so informed President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, President Emmanuel Macron of France, Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, Chancellor Merz of Germany, and President Alexander Stubb of Finland during a call with me immediately after the call with President Putin. The Vatican, as represented by the Pope, has stated that he would be very interested in hosting the negotiations. Man, I mean, it just gives me so much pride, you guys. It just gives me so much pride. I mean, it's unbelievable. Can you imagine cackling, unqualified, preposterous, LAD, lioness degenerate, DEI, worst VP in the history of America, Kamala, the Mamala. Could you imagine her negotiating with these unbelievably powerful, influential, seasoned, experienced political artists? You could almost say in some way, I was going to say assassins, but artists, assassins, I mean, they are extremely competent, extremely tough. Can you imagine Kamala trying to actually negotiate? Could you imagine how much trouble we would be? Could you imagine the veneer of America, how low it would be, how preposterously in the gutter it would be if we hadn't won on November 5th, 2024? Can you imagine, America? We are so lucky. Okay. So that's amazing news. I think that's fantastic news. And I want to say this too, that, while he's doing all of that, a huge announcement just came out on Sunday, just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Just in case you haven't heard or you just kind of haven't been around, President Biden has just announced that he has an aggressive form of prostate cancer. He says it's metastasized into the bone. Now, this is obviously tragic news, and President Trump himself sent out a very, very nice note on Truth Social saying that him and Melania are praying for him. I shared that on X. Everybody follow me on X, by the way. I post almost 100,000 times a day on X. So follow me on X to get really kind of a different perspective if you're liking what you're hearing and seeing here in video stream format. And that's not, that wasn't something that anybody was, surprised about, or, it wasn't something that is the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show, and we obviously send our condolences, and even though he ruined the country and destroyed the country, I don't want to see anybody, I would never harbor any kind of angry sentiment for somebody with an extreme health condition. But the biggest thing is the fact that there is no way ever, and we have proof and evidence that I'm going to share with you, there is no way that this was just a sudden occurrence. It is physically, medically, clinically impossible, especially when you've got state-of-the-art medical attention, state-of-the-art medical treatment as president of the United States are always allotted. It is literally beyond any scope of comprehension that this was sudden, that it just happened. So the question then is, how long? How long? I want to play this real quick clip right here. This is a clip from, most of you maybe remember this, back in 2022, 3 years ago, where Biden accidentally let out that he had cancer, and we were told by the worst, most egregious lying entity ever existed, the propagandist mainstream media, that it was just a gaffe. I want to play this clip for you back in 2022 when Biden slipped up that he, in fact, had cancer. Okay, I'm going to share this with you right now. You have to check this out right here. Here we go.
And because it was a 4-lane highway that was accessible, my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. And because it was a 4-lane highway.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? He admitted that he had cancer. He just admitted right there that he had cancer. Okay, that was back in 2022. I'm going to share with you a bunch of evidence that his doctor, Dr. O'Connor, who should have actually let us know what was going on, okay? This was back in July of 2024, okay? This was a letter from Kevin O'Connor, his doctor, back in July of 2024, who said that not only was President Biden fit, okay? Not only was he fit for office cognitively, he says here at the top, you can see I did an extremely detailed neurological exam. Okay. He says that at the top. And the exam was reassuring in that there were no findings which would be consistent with any neurological disorder such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or anything. Okay. That was back in July of 2024. Okay. Now, it gets worse. It gets worse. This is living proof that they lied to us. I want to play for you. So we all know the Robert Hur audio tapes have all indicated as such, but just from using our own senses, our own sense of perception, our own eyes, ears, and brain, right? Here is a clip of White House doctor Kevin O'Connor saying Joe Biden is in excellent health. Why Congress hasn't subpoenaed him is absolutely beyond me. But I want to share this because this is very, very important. You have to share this because we were told that we were nuts. We were told that we were crazy. Well, maybe not so much. Watch this.
How's the president's health? It is? Are you going to come to the briefing room to address us? Probably not. Could that change before the end of his term? And how is his mental cognition?
It's excellent.
It's excellent. Is there a reason you didn't perform a cognitive test on him?
He's here every day.
He's good every day. What about the speculation about Parkinson's disease or a related condition? Dr. O'Connor, is there anything to that speculation that there might be something related to Parkinson's that he has?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay. And the specialist's visit to the White House, does that have anything to do with that concern?
Yeah, he's seen him 3 times. Yeah, my letter was clear.
Okay. Thank you.
That guy right there needs to be subpoenaed immediately. That guy right there needs to be subpoenaed absolutely immediately, okay? So I'm going to share actually 3. I'm going to share 3. The first thing I want to share is I want to share this right here. This is from Dr. Stephen Quay, who is a respected specialist, okay? And what he says right here is super interesting. He posted this on X. He said, prostate cancer is the easiest cancer to diagnose when it first starts, and to watch it progress to bone. Okay, this is huge right here. To watch it progress to bone metastases, the PSA blood test shows the rate of cancer cell growth. For even with the most aggressive form, it is a 5 to 7 year journey. 5 to 7 year journey. This is a doctor, folks, who specializes in prostate cancer. Without treatment before it becomes metastatic, meaning it would be malpractice for this patient to show up and be first diagnosed with metastatic disease in May 2025. But wait, there's more. I've got a video on MSNBC of all places of an oncologist confirming the exact same finding. Okay? I've got an oncologist from, of all places, from this is Dr. Zeke Emanuel, okay, who says that the president likely had cancer at the beginning of his presidency in 2021, if not sooner. Dr. Zeke Emanuel, I did some extensive research, okay? This guy is a specialist oncologist in prostate cancer and diseases of this nature. And I want to share this with you right now. This is absolutely huge. I want to share this with you. Watch this.
I believe it is likely, if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
And I'm just curious again, if your doctor to a president of the United States that is a male, that is an older man, would a prostate test, and again, we're just talking about a PSA screening, a blood test that you could do along with all the other blood tests. It's not even that it would be intrusive. Would this not be one of the first tests that you would conduct as a White House doctor?
If you're a White House doctor in this situation, I think you would certainly discuss it with the president and talk about the pros and cons. I think if you then ask, well, If President Biden says, well, if I'm your father, which patients often do, what would you recommend? I think the fact is that most White House doctors would recommend getting the test. And again, the evidence is, look at President Obama, President Bush, younger than President Biden, and they both got the test.
You believe
So you mean to tell me that the president of the United States, and by the way, they're denying this. They're all denying this. They're all denying that this was a cover-up. So you mean to tell me that the president of the United States, who gets literally the greatest state-of-the-art care by the greatest top physicians of all time, you mean to tell me that this announcement is based on the fact that he just recently got diagnosed with this? Does anybody believe that whatsoever? And guess who's telling us this? It's the same people who told us he was sharp as a tack. It's the same people who told us he was probing, intelligent, fast, sober, whatever the hell that means. How in the world? Can you imagine if this was happening to President Trump? Could you imagine if President Trump just came out 2 days ago and said, yeah, I got an advanced form of cancer, something that is easily detectable and something that takes not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 to 5 years to metastasize and become that aggressively ingrained in your system? And there's very ample, transparent, substantive tests that you can take to detect all of this. And that supposed gaffe, where he accidentally slipped it up, that he said he had cancer back in 2022. Well, it brings to light something that I think is so interesting. Back in the 2020 debate, I want to share this with you. Disgrace, sham, LAD, lioness, degenerate, Kamala Harris, when she said this about Biden and his transparency, boy, this really, really makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? Check this out.
Under the same question I asked, which is, do voters have a right to know more detailed health information about presidential candidates and especially about presidents?
Susan, I'm glad you asked about transparency because it has to be across the board. Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there. He is honest. He is forthright. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been about covering up everything.
Thanks. Under the same.
LAD, baby, lioness, degenerate Kamala. She was going to be the first woman president. Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you out of your freaking mind? You want her to be the first woman president? So let me get this straight. So we had a president who was making consequential decisions on our future, on the security of our nation, economically, financially, defense-wise, geopolitically, domestically, foreign relations, negotiations. We supposedly the leader of the free world, who had an obvious, apparent cognitive decline, was definitely in the first few advanced stages. Her audio tapes confirmed that. And then as soon as those audio tapes come out, you come out with this announcement. And again, of course, we all send our condolences. We all send our thoughts and prayers. We all want him to recover, of course. But you expect us to believe that this is something that is recent? Are you out of your mind? We're supposed to believe that? I mean, make it make sense, folks. Somebody make it make sense. So I want to share this post right here. This is Grok. Even Grok says the probability of developing prostate cancer for men over 80 in that time span of over 10 months, okay, is less than 0.33 to 0.42%. It's less than 1%. Over 60% of advanced prostate cancer cases, okay, have a way longer time frame as the doctors provided in their evidentiary claims in the clips that I played for you. So you're going to tell me that we should trust you. You're going to tell me that this isn't the greatest cover-up, the greatest scandal in American history. That's what you're going to tell me right now? How many people think that there should be a major investigation? There should be a major probe into looking into what in the world has been going on? Because I'm going to share this with you right here. How many people are aware of the auto pen? How many people are aware of the auto pen? Let me know in the comments down below. Holy mackerel. Well, I'm going to share this with you because even bigger scandal than this release, the audio hurt tapes, a bigger scandal than we have literally no idea who has been president from January 2020 to January 2025. We have zero idea. But I want you to look at this clip right here. Biden's pardons for Fauci, Milley, the abhorrent, ridiculous January 6th committee, the corrupt January 6th committee, and all family members all share exact identical auto pen signatures. I want you to look at this very, very carefully because this right here is extremely, extremely alarming. I want you guys to look at this. I want you to look at this and tell me what you see because this right here scares the living daylights out of me. Look at the auto pen of all of those pardons right there and tell me what you notice. Every single one of them is exactly identical. Did Joe Biden actually pardon these criminals? Was Joe Biden behind the auto pen? Who was behind the auto pen? How many of you think right now, let me know in the comments, how many of you think this makes Watergate look like stealing a stick of gum at 7-Eleven? How many of you think this is the biggest, greatest scandal in American U.S. history? Look at that. Every single signature is identical. There isn't one curve, one iota of ink that is differentiated. Every single aspect is 100% the auto pen. I don't know about you, but I want answers. There needs to be a huge probe into this. And I want answers, and I want answers now. This is ridiculous. And you expect us to trust you? You expect us to trust you? You expect us to go back to where we were before? Where we actually listened to you? I'm going to share with you a major clip right here in just a second. But before I do, I want you to watch this from our local, this is our new sponsor here. Just check this out really quickly. This is literally the coolest thing that I have ever come across. You guys know I don't do a lot of sponsors on this show, and for good reason, because I only want to share things that I believe in, that I myself use. And I'm just so elated to share this with you guys. The people over at Hungry Minds have decided to partner with us, and I could not be any happier. This is one of the most incredible books. It's called The Book, The ultimate guide to rebuilding civilization. Every single page in this book was handcrafted by exemplary artists. You could literally learn how to rebuild your car, your home, survival techniques. It is the ultimate book, ultimate conversation starter, coffee table. It enlivens your home, enlivens conversations. It makes an amazing gift. Over 400,000 copies sold worldwide. Over 180 topics, over 50 artists and professionals involved. I mean, this is the exemplification of quality. And right now, Hungry Minds is offering us a 10% discount. All you got to do is use the promo code ProfessorNez10. It's for limited time only. So I'm telling you right now, this would be a great gift to brighten up your home, brighten up your conversations, and finally do something memorable for yourself and others. Get this right now. Link in the pinned comment and in the description down below. I'm going to share this clip that to me really exemplifies how good they are at lying. And then I'm going to share with you who I think is the real evil behind Joe. I'm going to share with you a clip I think that's going to just absolutely knock your socks off. But first, I want to share this clip right here. With this straight face, these people told us to our faces. They knew the entire time. There's no way these people didn't know. They knew the entire time. The book, Fake Tapper's book, confirms it. Our own senses, our own intelligence, our own intuition with our own eyes and ears knew it. We knew it for years. There was questions even before 2020. There was questions about it. And even when confronted with it, they looked at us in the face and laughed and call us conspiracy theorists and call us hate spreaders, misinformation artists, etc., etc. Watch this.
President have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with it.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
He's wise.
Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable to this country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is.
So these are the same people, by the way. These are the same people who are fighting against the deportation of criminal illegal aliens who are wreaking havoc across America. Tom Home on Our Borders is doing such a fantastic job. I might do another video where he shared some real personal stories that are very harrowing, almost hard to listen to. As much as a tough guy as he is, and he reminds me of one of those old. Give me a thumbs up if you love Tom Home on Our Borders he reminds me of an old sheriff from like the 1800s, back in the old time West. But he really relays some emotional stories. I might do a video later, so subscribe and follow, where he talks about the horrors of what he's seen, little kids and child trafficking, and just the worst of the worst. These cartel members and criminals and gang members, the things that they have done would make your stomach turn. These are the same people that said he's sharp as a tack, the same people that said he's probing, he's smart, he's with it. No, that's all a bunch of conspiracy. Same people. They're fighting against deportation. They're flying to foreign countries, trying to bring back these criminal deportees. They're fighting every tooth and nail against fraud, waste, and abuse, fighting Elon Musk, telling their followers and their ridiculous brainwashed lunkhead minions to attack Tesla dealerships, to attack conservatives, to attack Trump supporters. They are fomenting and inflaming violence at every turn. Oh, and by the way, this fertility clinic that was just bombed in my home state, California, it is now on record to being the largest domestic terrorism bombing in the history of the state. Guess who that was done by? You guessed it. Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won, Bob. A crazy lefty, radical, Marxist, Leninist, anti-American, lunatic liberal blew up and placed a bomb inside a fertility clinic. His manifesto came out. I don't even want to share. I'm not going to share his name. I'm not going to share. And I don't want him to be famous. I don't want to give him any platform. He's scum of the earth. Thank God there wasn't a lot of injuries, especially fatal ones, but he is scum of the earth. And guess what party he belongs to? Brainwashed. I mean, this is a pollution entity. The radical, extreme, ghetto Crockett's, communist OC, socialist Bernie Sanders, they are a sewage pipe of pollution. And they have a direct line into the brains of a lot of Americans. And it's deeply, deeply troubling and deeply, deeply sad. These are the same people. I want to also share this clip right here because I think the real villain here is Dr. Evil Jill Biden. Just last week, Jill Biden dragged Joe onto the set of The View. It was Joe's worst TV interview. He was halting, gasping, foggy, groggy, out of it. And Jill was constantly interrupting him. I want to share this. I want to share this with you because it is just absolutely mind-blowing. Watch this clip right here.
Yeah. Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out deeply sourced from Democratic sources that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things that
and Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading his briefings, just working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House. Being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
That's worth the invitation to come to the show.
Wow, wow, wow. Just an absolute farce. We had the worst economy. We literally had the worst economy of all time. Okay. We had the worst economy. We had the worst border crisis in the history of our country, literally the worst border crisis in the history of our country. We had a forever war where all of our taxpayer dollars were going over to fund a ridiculous war that was never going to end, while regular Americans suffered endlessly every single day. We had unbelievable crime rates. Crime rates skyrocketed here, especially here in my home state. This, my friends, goes beyond elder abuse. My fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, this goes beyond a power trip or the retention of power. What they did to Joe Biden, I mean, it's literally no worse than like using a dead carcass, okay, and putting a stick in his butt and propping him up so that you could continue. It's like using a dead person to get free Social Security checks or unemployment benefits. It is fraud at the highest level imaginable. That's what this is. It's just so scary to me. Okay. And I think she is really the one who deserves to really be investigated more than anything. How dare you? You call yourself a doctor? Your husband had cancer for years. Your husband had cognitive decline for years. Your husband was mentally incapacitated for years, advanced forms of dementia for years. And because you love the lifestyle, you continue to lie to the American public instead of having a little bit of grace, decency, and integrity and saying, you know what, Joe, enough is enough. You're done, man. You're done. We can't keep this charade on anymore. Everybody knows. Everybody can see it. You can't even form 2 sentences. And then to add insult to injury, she goes on The View just a couple weeks ago and says, I'd rather have Biden than what's going on right now, with a straight face. Can you imagine that? Facts. They lied about COVID. They lied about mail-in ballots. Do you really believe that Joe Biden got 20 million more votes while he had cancer and he was mentally incapacitated during the pandemic? 20 million more votes than Obama, the messiah of the party? They lied about COVID. They lied about mail-in ballots. They lied about Hunter's laptop. They lied about the election. They lied about Biden's brain. They lied about Biden signing documents. They lied about the border. They lied about Ukraine. And now they're lying about Biden's cancer. My question to you, what are they going to lie about next? What's next? Can they ever regain the trust of the American people? It's beyond offensive. And if you're just joining us and you missed the clips that I shared earlier from actual doctors, okay, oncologists, cancer specialists, you will know. And just in case, you know what, I'm going to share another one from a network that I can't stand, from a network that is hyperbolically biased. This is another MSNBC doctor. Presidents George Bush, Obama, Trump all posted their PSAs as part of their presidential physicals. They didn't share them for Biden. They covered up his cancer. I want you to watch this very carefully. Again, this is not, okay? This is not some kind of alias or allied network, rather. This is from, a network that I think is absolutely abysmal, okay? This is absolutely abysmal. I can't stand these guys, but I'm going to share it anyway. Watch this.
Obviously, the PSA exam is not 100% accurate, and I've never met a doctor that doesn't say you needed to do the PSA exam and also have the physical exam as well. I just find it hard to believe that any White House physician wouldn't say, okay, well, what my doctor and what every other doctor says, which is, okay, we've done the PSA test and that's fine, but at least once a year, we need to do a physical exam. Again, if you're just talking about a 78-year-old guy that is not running the free world, that's one thing. But if you're a White House physician and you have any man over 40 years old, are you not going to at least say, hey, once a year, like every other physician says, once a year, we need to do a physical exam and check? Because this is like one of the leading causes, one of the leading.
100%. And did they do a digital rectal exam to assess his prostate? Again, typically that's done in the presence of symptoms. To your point, he's the leader of the free world. Did they do it and not characterize it? It's hard to know. We're speculating here. I would say in an abundance of caution, probably be holistic and comprehensive. That would make sense. It is interesting to note that President Trump's, President Obama's, and President Bush II, in their most recent physicals, in their terms of office, obviously 2025 for President Trump, did comment on their PSA levels. And so they got screened while in office and they commented on it. It's not easy to access the most recent ones from President Biden. You can read the summary articles. I couldn't access it on the archive site on the White House just before I came on. But according to those that were able to, there is not a report of a PSA test on the most recent physical that was read out for President Biden's last year in office. And so it's to say what was done, what was not done. You and I would be speculating, but the other three most recent occupants of the White House had it drawn and it was reported out.
So every other president had their PSA, which again is a test to determine, a very specific test, if that antigen for diagnosing and correctly, accurately detecting any form of cancer, prostate cancer at all. Why didn't they release it for Biden? Why didn't they release it? Somebody make it make sense. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't. I want to also share this clip here because, again, I'm all about evidence. I'm all about backing up claims. If I'm going to title something proof revealed, Biden's doctor tied to biggest cover-up in U.S. history, which I showed his letter back in July of 2024 where he said he's physically fit, mentally fit, cognitively fit, and that interview clip where he said he's fine, there's nothing wrong with him, which we all know was a complete lie and cover up now. Here's another doctor. This is a urologist who is specializing, again, in the exact thing that Biden announced yesterday. I want to play this clip as well because I want as much evidence as possible. Check this out.
Very unlikely that someone could get annual checkups and not notice a PSA elevation over the past, But this is what I typically would see in a VA hospital, where a patient hasn't had medical attention in 10 years, presents to an emergency room with bone pain, and then they find that it's metastatic prostate cancer. But in the modern age of medicine, especially the fact that he was a former president, he had intensive state-of-the-art, care where we can see prostate cancer, 10 years in the past. So this is, it's very unusual to hear that someone has prostate cancer where they're annually being followed up. And the fact that we just find it at a Gleason 9 is just pretty much unheard of in this day and age of medicine. Even in the, even in the inner city populations, we
I
wouldn't
see.
see
So
it
you're saying
this bad.
even in a medically neglected population, it would be surprising to have a surprise diagnosis with a Gleason score of 9. So you're saying that certainly as
That's
he was
correct.
serving in the Oval Office, you believe that he knew that he had prostate cancer, and even potentially as he was running in 2020 before he assumed office?
Well, most likely he had prostate cancer for a long time, and the aggressive prostate cancer such as this at age 80 grows over a long period of time. I mean, usually it takes from the first diagnosis of prostate cancer to spread would take 5 to 10 years.
Sorry, can you guys hear me? 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years. This is the biggest scandal in American U.S. history. We didn't have a president for 5 years. Who was president from January 2020 to January 2025? Who was president? Because we didn't have one. Was it Dr. Evil? Dr. Jilskis? Who was it? JD Vance. JD Vance has a comment, and I want to share that right now. I love JD Vance. If you love JD Vance, let me know in the comments down below. I absolutely love him. Let's hear what JD Vance has to say.
Speaking of Joe Biden, sir, do you have any thoughts on his diagnosis?
Yeah, look, I mean, first of all, of course, we wish the best for the former president's health. And, it sounds pretty serious, but hopefully he makes the right recovery. Like, I will say, whether the right time to have this conversation is now or at some point in the future, we really do need to be honest about whether the former president was capable of doing the job. And that's no, that you can separate the desire for him to have the right health outcome That's not because I disagreed with him on policy. That's because I don't think that he was in good enough health. In some ways, I blame him less than I blame the people around him. And why didn't the American people have a better sense of his health picture? Why didn't the American people have more accurate information about what he was actually dealing with? This is serious stuff. And this is the guy who carries around the nuclear football for the world's largest nuclear arsenal. This is not child's play. And we can pray for good health, but also recognize that if you're not in good enough health to do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a safe trip. See ya. You too.
There is no doubt that I love Shirley's comment here. I really do. I think this is such a good comment here, saying I'm disgusted at the behavior of these top Democrats. What I'd like to say to them is thank God we have a real leader as president. President Trump is the greatest president ever. We have literally a president who works tirelessly right now, who has not taken a day off, never sleeps apparently, who's engaged in radical, extreme transparency. I mean, he has off the cuff, unpremeditated, unpre-rehearsed signing executive order, taking questions randomly off the cuff from reporters, doing an amazing job of sharing exactly what's going on in his cabinet meetings are absolutely epic, stellar meetings, showing and displaying and conveying to the American public, look at the quality team that I've assembled for us. You contrast that to the dark, abysmal, despicable, evil cover-up after cover-up. I mean, can you remember the last time President Biden took questions from the press? When was the last time that President Biden actually, off the cuff, responded to reporters? And when he did, it was an absolute travesty. It was a tragedy, whether he called, the president of Ukraine, President Putin. He said Mexico bordered Israel. I mean, gaffe after gaffe after gaffe, stumbling, mumbling, shuffling vegetable. And I put this picture on the screen because this, I think, is the real evil. And I call her now, her new nickname now is Dr. Evil, because of her greed and her insatiable hunger for power. Everybody in America, our global standing, our brand, the American brand, took a huge hit. This is exactly, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow American citizens, my fellow global citizens. By the way, let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing from you guys. We have great fans in Canada, Australia, Europe, South America, New Zealand, UK. Let me know where you're joining me from. This is exactly what happened in 1776. The spirit of 76 is back with Trump and this amazing Avengers-style cabinet. This is the same tyranny. This is the same oppression, the same greed for power, greed for money, greed for standing that we fought against in 1776. And the reason why this channel exists, the reason I'm doing this, is because we have to make sure that these absolute LADs, these lion-ass, degenerate, anti-American, pond scum, swamp vermin never get into powerful positions and influential positions ever again. I'm doing this for my grandkids and my grandkids' grandkids' grandkids'. That's a lot of grandkids'. I want them to live in the America that we're not asking for much. Just an America that abides by the Constitution, that doesn't discriminate, a merit-based freedom of religion, freedom of speech, right to bear arms, following the greatest document that was ever composed, and is transparent, and is a government of the people, for the people, by the people. That's what a republic is. That's what a democracy is, ladies and gentlemen. It's ours. It's supposed to be ours. It was architected and spawned with that thematic base as the crux, the genesis, the nucleus of America. It's ours. It's supposed to be ours. And President Trump, God bless President Trump, is doing exactly that, following the Constitution, 1 billion%. We cannot let them ever. And by the way, the mainstream media, even though you've got now all of a sudden fake Tapper, oh, we were lying. It's all BS. It's all smokescreen. It's a dog and pony show. They're going to go right, just like Bill Maher, that insidious, gremlin, petulant prick, who Trump, in his open-hearted, open-minded way, as he always does, he never holds a grudge. I hold grudges. I'll be honest with you. I try not to, but I do. President Trump doesn't hold any grudges. Invited him into his home, invited him to the White House, had dinner with him, opened his heart to him, opened his mind to him, said, hey, what do you think about Iran? Asked him very poignant questions. Bill Maher came out. This is a perfect example of how the Democrats operate, the radical anti-American liberals. Invited it into his home, had a genuine, sincere conversation, and Bill Maher reported to the world that I was impressed. And his base of lunatic minions, he got so much backlash, and now he's back with a vengeance attacking Trump and everything he's doing for America. Why? Because his ratings and his maniacal, crazy base all turned on him. That just shows you where their loyalty lies. It's not to our country. Nez, why are you bringing up this example? This is who they are. I know them. I worked with them. They're all elitists, global, pseudo-intellectual academics. I worked with them. I know them. I've looked into their dark souls with many flashlights. I couldn't find a thing. All I found was more dark. I had every flashlight imaginable. I dug into their chest. I couldn't find a thing. It was just black upon black upon black. They only care about one thing, themselves, period. They don't care about our country. That's a fact. So how can you help? Tap the thumbs up. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Leave a comment. Share this with somebody for the love of God. This is, consequential. This has effect on every artery of your personal, of your professional, of your business, of your family, everything. This isn't a movie. This isn't fun and games. Okay? This is real life. We have a republic to maintain and sustain and propagate into the future for our grandkids, for crying out loud. I want to give a huge shout out to the greatest mods of all time. I love you guys more than anything. Congratulations to Phil Apodaca, 6 months. Jim Barron, Laura Tilford, China Baby, you guys are the best of the best. Thank you, Jojo. It's great to see you. Thank you, Zach P. Jim, thank you so much. Daylight, thank you so much. I love you guys so much. We got live stream giveaways coming up. We got so much more planned. We're never going to stop fighting. Subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. Our free newsletter is in the description and pinned comment. Go check out that book. Thank you to the people over at Hungry Minds. It's one of the most phenomenal books I've ever gotten. You need to get it as a gift too. That link is in the pinned comment and description. I just want to say that I love you guys so much. I'm so happy that you're here with me. And we're never going to stop. We're never going to stop. And I need your help. We're going to do this together. God bless you. God bless the United States of America and all who defend.